Is that is what they can't hear me?
Yeah, we've been muted, of course, because I boomered the fuck out.
We've been all muted. All right, so let's start over. Let's start
What's up,
from the beginning
cyberspace
there.
fans, cyber fanbots everywhere, Excelereight prostate, fan America. No adhesions tonight. Odyssey is being a little bitch. I don't know what's going on. Just gotta slap her around and find out later. Excelereight prostate, and it's a special edition of XD, Accelerated Deconstruction, with the Excelereight, the one and only.
Yeah, I could not let it go, especially after some of the things I've watched today with Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, on the eve of closing arguments and deliberation, like, we gotta talk about it. I'm sorry. It's so intertwined, too, with the critical theory nonsense, which maybe I'll get into. I have told Irate, like, dude, let's just open up the green room. Maybe we're not gonna have more than 5 people at a time in here, but, you know, people want to join, give their opinions, talk about it. Like, it's one of those streams, right? It's very impromptu. It's just going to be us bullshitting, speaking our opinions on the entire thing.
Fair enough. Where do we want to sling the just want to put it out in the link? That.
Oh yeah, if you want to throw the Discord link into the chat, that'd be great.
I'll throw it in the chat.
But I mean, part of the reason I think this is so important is I don't think this case is it's not really even about Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, yes, I think the kid's innocent, but it's about your right to self-defense, right? If Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty, when the mob comes for your city and you have any inclination to protect yourself, why bother? They're going to throw you in jail, right? You're the guilty one for protecting your city. That's why I think this is important.
Well, I saw Kiever Dam in the green room, but where'd she go? If you want to join us, just feel free to hop in. When you come in, all right, I'll have to roll you real fast, all right? So, sorry about that. All right, we got Mirror. All right, we're going to give you a quick one there. All right. Hey. All right. So, you can... There she is.
See a certain Marine from Tennessee.
There you go. All right. Let's pull up Kiever Dam in here. Kiever Dam.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm not on delay, am I? Or lagging?
No, you're fine.
Okay, good.
I actually think it's been hilarious because I've been following like every stream having to do with this trial. How many times have we ran into each other on random streams about this trial? It's been multiple times,
like,
Dan.
like Rakita Law.
Yeah, like every time Rakita's streaming, we're like, hey, what's up?
It's kind of hard to, come across each other sometimes since this chat goes so fast.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like, like one of my laid back chats is just like, hey man, what's happening?
Yep.
I don't know. So I did give you a video. Like, my opinion on this case so far is that the prosecution's case has been fucking terrible. All their witnesses have basically just said, yeah, Kyle was acting in self-defense. And that was the prosecution's witnesses. And now they're doing this new Hail Mary based on this enhanced video evidence that somehow Kyle pointed a gun at Zeminski, and that's what provoked Rosenbaum to attack him. And they managed to actually get that into evidence, which is fucking insane to me.
Well, there's a guy that fired a gun off in the air right before the shot at Zeminski.
Yeah, that was Zeminski. Like, no, well, Zeminski's the one that shot the gun, the shot in the air. What they're trying to say is, like, when Kyle was running, like, walking down in the same area that everybody else is walking down in, and we have all these videos showing that Rosenbaum circled back around these cars to get behind Kyle, they're trying to say that Kyle pointed the gun at Zeminski, which is what triggered Rosenbaum to attack him. and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, first off, the picture they're showing, Kyle had the gun slung around, like, so that he was holding the gun right-handed. He would have had to re-sling the weapon to make that even possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were watching the case, right, at some point, the prosecution told the judge, the only reason that they're trying to make it so that you can't submit this evidence is they're taking advantage of your fact or your lack of knowledge of technology. That was confession through projection.
Right.
Like, really, they got the evidence in by taking advantage of the judge's lack of knowledge of technology. Like, we're literally, and I gave you a video that we can play. That was from Logical Checkmate, which I did hit the guy up. He doesn't know me, so probably won't join. But a video from Logical Checkmate that went through it, and like, I think it's fucking amazing how in 20 minutes the entire internet can debunk like a 20-hour video analysis that the prosecution tried to throw in front of the jury.
I want to welcome Mirror to the server, and you want to join us? Hop in the green room, and we'll yank you in. Actually, you should be able to see the studio. You just jump in with us.
Yeah, in fact, if you want to play that video I shared from Logical Checkmate, I think that would be a fun basis for the ridiculousness that we're dealing with on Deliberation Eve.
Dr. Functional, why are you not ranched on my fucking channel? That was a mistake. Sorry about that, Functional. Just, if you're not in my server, hop in. And if you're in the server, just pop in the green room and I'll roll you to where you can see everything. And just hop in and hang out with us. All right? That's the offer I'm giving you tonight.
It's like the internet is weaponized autism. Yes, the internet proved definitively that, in my opinion, the prosecution manufactured evidence.
All right, we got Tennessee Marine. He's going to join us in just 1 second. Dude. Yeah. Whoops.
But yeah, when you blow up the picture, it's just a blur.
It's at best a Rorschach test. They're like, hey, let's present
that's what they
it.
said
Let's
on Rakita's stream.
Yeah, let's present in front of evidence clouds and tell the jury to interpret what the clouds are saying, and we're gonna make that evidence in a trial. It's ridiculous.
Good evening, y'all.
Hey, what's up, TM? Good to have you,
doing
brother.
all right? Hey, thanks for having me.
You doing all right, dude?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Killer.
Well, he has no response.
What?
I can't hear TM. Is he talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking, dog.
Oh, I hear
What's
you now.
up?
There he is. Yeah.
What's up, homie? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, dude. Hope you've been doing well.
Yeah, man. In fact, I actually brought you up when I was talking about like how we think about these cases, because remember right after the George Floyd thing went popular, we all got on and we were just like, you know what? It looks like he's fucking guilty, right?
Oh yeah, you mean that amazing moment that could have happened in American politics where white people and black people came together because they saw a video of what they thought at the time to be a white cop like killing a man in the street by fucking laying on his neck with his knee. And we were all like, yeah, we might need to talk about police brutality in this country. That's something that could, unite the party lines. And then it immediately became Black Lives Matter, white people are evil, cops are evil.
Well, and we came to those conclusions based on the limited video that was available.
Yeah.
And what makes it so crazy with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is that the video is not limited. we have the entire fucking thing documented.
Mhm.
And I just don't see how anybody can like look at that and say it's not self-defense.
Right.
I don't either, but I can only allow my mind to go to places of absurdity, I guess, to where it's like, I can't put my mind in place of someone who thinks that it isn't self-defense. Like I really can't. Like I can't stretch my mental capacities that
Well-
much, I guess, to be imagining myself thinking that, oh yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse he committed murder instead of self-defense.
So I'm going to try to put this the best way I can possible. I can put myself in the mind of the people that want Kyle to be hung. And it's because of all of the work I've done, like just research, listening to people talking about critical theory. And it's the same people, right? Like the overlap is 100%. The people that think Kyle is guilty, they're basing things on narratives. And narratives are the only thing that are important to them, right? It's not the objective facts of the case. It makes no difference to the people that think Kyle is guilty.
Yeah, because
All that matters
objective.
is the narrative that a white supremacist crossed state lines to kill black people is so powerful that they need it to be true.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you're aware of this as well as I am, that narratives are rarely, if ever, the actual truth. It's just a narrative. It's propaganda. It's false shit shoved into your fucking,
Oh, yeah,
gray matter.
Me and you understand this, but there's an entire. We're graduating kids to go into the real world thinking that the narratives are more important than the truth.
Yeah. But as far as Kyle Rittenhouse is concerned, I think AP just said it wonderfully on his fucking interview with Irate that Irate did, which was a fucking fantastic show, by the way.
Thanks.
Fun. I don't think that Kyle Rittenhouse should serve 8 days in jail. I think as soon as this trial is over, get the fuck out. No charges. You're not a felon. You can still vote and legally own firearms. I don't think anything should happen to this dude. But at the same time, yeah, it kind of sucks that a fucking, what I consider a kid at 18 years old decided that, the cops and the firemen that we pay our taxes for are literally not showing up to protect or support us, all because of politics in this country. And like seeing that and having to have the desire to go and try to defend these places or be involved with it is a very naive, childish thing to do, in my opinion.
Well,
I don't care. I don't.
Hold on. Would you apply that to somebody that was 18?
Well, and I was going to say before this, before any of this happened, right? The president at the time, initials DJT, number 45, had offered to put the National Guard, right?
Yep.
And think about the turning that down and what a big mistake that is. And now, for the verdict, they're thinking about more. They've actually deployed 500 troops. They're using the Guard now.
I legitimately feel bad for Kyle Rittenhouse because, for one, he's 18 years old, man. He's a kid, dude. I remember me
I
at
know
18.
he's a kid, but I also think he thought he was doing a good thing.
I do believe that there was no malice in his heart. Like, there was no legit evilness. Like, I can't wait to fucking go to fucking Kenosha and just start killing BLM members. I don't think there's any of that in him.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any of that in him. But what I do think is there's a child, like there is a childish level of fucking, not being able to understand the factual world that you're living in. Discognizance type thing, to where it's like, I'm 18 years old. I've never shot at anybody before. I've only lived 18 years of my life. I'm going to go to this Kenosha place and try to help out because I took some medic classes and stuff.
I don't necessarily disagree with what you're trying to say. But at the same time, it's one of those things like, let's say that Kyle was a hot young woman walking down what is literally called Rape Alley, like 100% chance of getting raped if you go down this alley. but it's a
Mhm.
public place in America that you can go to, right? Does that make him more or less guilty because he knew he was on Rape Alley and got raped?
I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty of anything besides being a naive kid in my eyes and trying to do something and not realizing the consequences, the full consequences of his actions. Do I
Well,
think he
and
had it? Do I think he had any malice in his heart, or he just wanted to go and kill BLM and Antifa members? No, I don't whatsoever. But I
right.
do think he made a very childish decision to go and fuck up potentially the rest of his life over something that he could have avoided, and he could have done nothing and been perfectly fine in not doing anything.
Look, I get it, but follow my line of questioning here. So, if Kyle was 18, would that have been any different?
He was 18, or he's
He was
17.
17. But if he was 18, would it have been any different?
Nope, still a kid in my eyes anymore.
If he was
But I mean,
20
I'm about to be 31. So like, if you're 17,
If he
18,
was-
like,
if
yeah,
he
you're a
was-
kid in my eyes.
If he was 25, would it have been different?
Yes, if it was 25, I would feel even more harshly towards him because he's 25. At that age, you should realize the future consequences of your actions, not just I'm reacting to a situation right now that could potentially fuck up the rest of my life, and I'm still young enough to
So-
where that matters.
So what you're saying is that people that know that people are coming to your town to burn it down, that are 25 years of age, and the police aren't going to do anything, should not show up to prevent their town from being burnt down.
I think you should defend what is yours by blood or by right. That is what I think. That town was not his. He may have lived in it, true, but it was not his town. At the end of the day, the only thing that, at least to me, that you can truly justify killing someone over would be what is yours by right or by blood. If
Well,
someone tried to
you
come
didn't-
and,
you didn't-
you know,
let's
I don't
let's be very clear here. He did not shoot a single person because he was protecting property. That never happened.
and I agree with that fact. I agree with that fact. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that fact.
So what you're saying is that people that are, like I said, he's 25, should not show up whenever law enforcement's not going to do their job and prevent their city from being burnt down by rioters. They should not show up. They should say, "That's not mine," and I should just acquiesce to whatever.
I think if that person was a store owner in that city, yeah, do the whole like rooftop Koreans fucking aspect of it. Fuck yeah, dude. But if your literal family members won't be hurt in something, like what can you do? I mean, do you really want to go and like? I mean, honestly, man, like I said, I see both what I'm saying and you're saying. I see both aspects of this. But to me, like, it's not about the what ifs. Like, what if Kyle Rittenhouse was older? What if this? What if that? The fact of the matter was he was a young man. Like 17,
Yeah,
18.
that's-
At the point in your life to where if you make a bad decision, like some people say Kyle made, that can literally fuck up like decades upon decades of your life. You know what I mean? So I don't think those guys should
You are
be doing
actually
something.
separating yourself from the point I'm trying to make, where is if you limit what people can do to protect themselves to their individual property, and there's mobs of people that are just willing to burn down whatever the fuck they're gonna burn down, right? You've actually created a situation to make a third world country. Like, if that's really what we're gonna do, if we're really gonna say that if the cops aren't gonna do their job and rioters show up to a city, people that just don't own the property in that city, they just need to stay the fuck home and let the rioters do what they're gonna do. You're gonna degenerate into a third world country. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't see a way around.
Well,
it.
okay, cool. If we're gonna say that I'm trying to say that we're gonna degenerate into a third world country by not having 17-year-olds go do what all the fucking 40 and 30-year-old fucking LARPers online doing.
I
with the
already
3%
said
shit
that.
and all
I
that.
already
Like,
said that.
here's what I think. I think if we are at the point in our nation to where 17-year-old kids have to go and defend our streets, I'm saying, why the fuck are we paying taxes? Why the fuck are we like doing anything
You know
by
what?
the quote unquote laws of the land? You know what I
I
mean?
agree with you, and the Kyle Rittenhouse case makes it very clear that in some places, I guess we're at that point.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fucking sad. That's fucking sad and
Pathetic.
subversive and just shitty as fuck. Knowing that in my short, nearly 31 years on the planet, we literally have a situation where like you're gonna have to go and be like a legit militia for the big cities, and I just like I said, man, I'm just like I hate that it's came to that point, but I don't think that we should have fucking 17-year-old young men fucking potentially, you know, ruining their lives over something that whether you think it might lead to a third world nation or not, at the same time, like what can you really do? Like Kenosha was still burned. You still had riot and looting and all this other shit. And the only thing that happened now is that Kyle Rittenhouse might fuck up the rest of his life or might get killed when he gets out of jail. You never fucking know. So like that, like he didn't accomplish as much as what you think. Like he killed a pedophile, which
Yeah.
my hat's off to him for that. Like alone, like good on you.
I
Like
don't even
one
make
less.
that argument,
But like
it's true.
at the end of the day, what did he accomplish? Kenosha still got burned. Places were still destroyed. Chaos ensued, and now instead of
That's-
and from an optics point, instead of talking about like the George Floyd riots, not the fucking demonstration that that the MSM tries to paint it as, like with mostly peaceful protest and that shit. Now everybody's talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse been trending on Twitter for like days, like fucking Nick Rakita's got like nearly got half of fucking YouTube at this point watching his ass live. Like instead of all of this discussion about, hey, why are certain political groups in this country allowed to literally riot and destroy shit for months on end, yet at the same time you're trying to take away us quote unquote law abiding citizens' rights, but let them do what they want during a quote unquote pandemic. So instead of us talking about that shit last year, now we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse and what this kid did.
I think
you
Kyle
know.
Rittenhouse encompasses what you're talking about. Like the fact that he was a kid makes it gives room to make that argument. Like, well, he was only 17, right? And I know you're not trying to demean him for being only 17, right? You're just trying to say, like, I think he was naive. I don't think he understood what could have possibly happened, and that
I don't think he was looking that far into the future. Yeah,
of course, right? And somebody older, maybe more trained, would have understood exactly what they were getting into. I agree. I completely agree with that sentiment.
I guess.
But-
I guess
but
my
what
main point is just I'm sorry that our nation has been accelerated and fucking rotten to the point to where a 17-year-old kid has to go out and fucking potentially ruin his life just to get some order, some measure of security and stability in our nation. I guess I'm just sorry for that. Did
Yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse do anything wrong? Absolutely fucking not. He shouldn't serve a day in jail, should have no court fines, no lawyer fees, none of that shit. And honestly, if I could, I hope there's some fucking GoFundMe that actually goes to him and a lot of companies get behind it and make that dude a fucking millionaire to where he never has to worry about a goddamn thing for the rest of his life. Fuck it. And fuck all the liberals who want to fucking see him castrated in front of some George Floyd fucking memorial.
All right. Well, if you're going to give me the opportunity for cross-exam, I rest my case.
Well, hey, you remember what Richard Jewell? What happened to that dude? Do y'all know who I'm talking about?
I do not recall who you're talking about off the top of my head. No.
All right, so during the Atlanta Olympics, there was a bomb that went off. It was by the guy that was Eric Robert Rudolph. Okay, they found later. But they initially pinpointed this dude named Richard Jewell. The FBI were all up in his ass, the fucking news. They literally ruined this dude's life, and he ended up killing himself. Right? I mean that's what we're dealing with here. Is something that powerful that they can take your life away just for money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, we're I don't know if we're living in end times or something like that, but we're damn sure living in some rough ones.
Dude, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, for a while it's been nothing but societal things, like not being able to, not have to wear a mask and vaccine and blah blah blah. But I don't know, now with the financial market being the way it is, dude, we are looking at some rough ass times ahead.
I heard that.
So Irate has a video queued up. It goes to why, like, I kind of wanted to stream, and it's at the 11th hour. The prosecution presented this blurry ass fucking video to try to say that Kyle Rittenhouse pointed guns at what Joshua Zeminski, which was provocation for the entire thing, and it's impossible, completely manufactured. It could not have happened. And I think Kyver, Tennessee Marine, watch Irate's live stream right now. We play the video. Logical checkmate makes the perfect case for why it's complete bullshit.
Word.
All right. So I keep putting the Discord out there. If y'all just join the Discord, not to join the thing, I prefer it if you came in and hung out with us and talked. To be honest, it's not a real social Discord. I'm just being straight up. I use it as mainly a place to do this out of. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and start with this. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cheers, my mates. For those of you who watch the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, there was one, you could say, very damning revelation that Kyle Rittenhouse aimed his rifle at Zeminski's. Well, we'll see if claims of the prosecution hold any water. So, without any further ado, let's jump straight into it, shall we? Alright, let's start the video. Pause. Mr. Rittenhouse, you just came in the screen, put the fire extinguisher down, and now you've got your weapon raised.
This is such bullshit questioning, by the way.
I absolutely need to tell you is that as Kyle comes into the frame, basically stops and he puts down the fire extinguisher, the drone rises at the same time. This is immensely important. Please keep that in mind. So
We're gonna
let's
get to the point to where
establish a
they
few
can
things,
literally just fake you
First of
doing
all,
a crime.
Kyle Rittenhouse had two things on him that he had strapped. That was his medbag he carried on his left side and his rifle on his right side. As you can see in this picture, two straps. Okay? Very important. Another thing is, we know for a fact that Kyle Rittenhouse was at just a few seconds before this drone footage picks Kyle coming into the frame. Kyle was running with a fire extinguisher in his left arm, with his medbag flopping quite severely, as you can see, on his left side, flopping all around the place, and his rifle on his right side. The rifle is quite hard to see, but where else it would be, okay? This is a fact, it's undeniable. So,
I love this guy
is a
from the
screenshot
Czech Republic.
of where Mr. Bingo was, hey,
That's
here
the
you
evidence,
are clearly
man.
pointing your rifle to the right, to your right, to our left,
Prove Kyle instigated the
and
conflict.
you are aiming your rifle at
Dude, that is so
someone,
fucking
implying
grainy.
Mr. and Ms. Zeminski's.
Ugh.
And I will now
I
explain
know, right?
why that is simply impossible. So,
Lift the clouds
let's
and
use
tell me what
our
they
trusty
mean.
Microsoft Paint. This
A
is
Rorschach
screenshot, by the way,
text
those are
for
cursors,
innocence.
They are already there, courtesy of the prosecution. So,
By the
very
way,
important.
for everybody
So
saying that the
bit.
judge is biased, they've
So,
allowed this
right
into
away, what do you
evidence.
see? This is Kyle, and you could, for example, suspect that this is his right hand, and he is he has his rifle shouldered looking to the right. Well, that is absolutely impossible, and I'll tell you why. Because we can see here this lovely black line. That is his medpack strap. I know this is very hard to see, and I have a really good monitor, 30 inches gaming monitor, but right here, that is his medpack. Okay? And this, now with yellow, this is, that's his right arm readjusting. He has his right hand on his left shoulder, most likely readjusting the rifle strap. Now, the rifle will be here. The rifle
The
is
hilarious
black,
part about all of this,
and you don't
like,
see it because
anybody
there
like
is
looking at this
black
image
car.
has any idea
And
what the
also,
fuck is going
very
on.
important, Carl at this moment has a
Yep.
cap, but
Yeah, I
you
don't
don't
know,
see
man.
anything, like any serious, like.
I mean, it just goes to
something
show you how
will
much
actually
modern
like this.
videos and, recording
change
has
in
come
color,
into
what you see,
prosecution now.
That's the shadow and
How
different
reliant
lighting,
upon
but
technology
not
we
from
are.
the cap. And by the way, I'm just saying. Also
By the way,
noticing,
like on this video,
I-
Zeminski is supposed to be to the
distinction
left
here.
of him
Do you
there.
see the darker spot right here? That's his hair going from the I don't know how the hole in the cap. I don't know how's that called. So yeah, now I will explain why Kyle cannot be looking to the right, and that is because we don't see his rifle. The rifle is black. He has light clothing. He has he has he's white. He has light clothing, and we don't see basically the rifle, and that would be a big obstruction. I will show you in a second. Right here, there would be a massive obstruction. We could not see the strap. Now, I'll admit, now when I'm looking at it, there's a possibility that this is his right hand and this is his left hand, and he's holding the rifle, and the muzzle is going this way. But I actually, no, now looking at it again, I don't think so, because I don't see the rifle covering the medpack. Again, I know this is very hard to see, but the medpack is right here. I don't see it being covered. I see a lovely line. I hope you have a really nice monitor. Here, it's undisturbed line of pixels. That is the medpack he's carrying around. Now, this thing here is just a reflection from the car. I will do you remember when I told you to remember that the drone was rising? It will come important in a bit. So let's first establish that Kyle's torso is facing us. I'll point out again the strap. You can see it clearly going from our left to our right. That is undeniable. So if Kyle would be sideways, as you can see here, we would not see like anything like that. We would see maybe an O shape, maybe. And if Kyle would have his back to us, we would see this. As you can see, the layout is completely different for a very good reason. And we would see two straps, not one. And why?
This
do we
is
see
very
only
in-depth.
one
I
strap?
appreciate
Well,
this.
if you didn't figure it out yet, I'll be
Yeah,
explaining
it's
right
ridiculous.
now. So, why we can see only one strap? Well, yeah, I needed to strap on a wee bit. It is because
I saw
Kyle,
V Radio did
right
join in
first,
for a
Kyle
little bit
covers
to watch
with
the
his
stream.
right arm. He
He's been online all day, so
his
he can't join us at last
left
minute. But
on the strap on his left shoulder. As you can see, the strap is hidden.
I think
but you
he'll
can
agree
see
with
the
this
other one.
video how impossible it is that Kyle
That
pointed
is
the
why
gun at
we
somebody.
see only one. Kyle was not, literally could not have been pointing his rifle at the Zeminskis. But I bet you will still be asking, well, how do you explain the smudge to Carl's right? The smudge is already here. It's a reflection from the car's body, and I do apologize for the worst quality. I don't have access, unfortunately, to the raw footage, and I hate it that the files are not posted, for example, online. I would love my hands on them. Anyway, the smudge is already there, and I will explain in a...
Was this provided by the FBI?
All these sources, yeah, some of it, I believe. I'm not sure about this one. I think this was like a private drone.
Okay. Well, you know, the FBI had a drone up there too.
And then yeah, they did that. They hit it like way up high for infrared. I believe that this was like private drone footage where the crime lab decided to enhance it and spend 20 hours trying to enhance it and make a representation of what happened based on this ridiculously zoomed in video, which I don't think anybody could possibly make.
Bit why I think that dumbbell of a Binger came to this conclusion that Carl was lifting.
It's like I said, man, it won't be too much longer till they're just going to be able to fake evidence of you committing a crime right there on video.
That the drone was getting
deep fakes and shit, man.
That's what they're doing, is faking evidence.
Because it was changing the point
like
of
you
view,
wait, man,
just
like
as
these
Carl
deep
was getting
fakes
there.
and these fucking little
It
sing-along
appeared that
songs where you have
because the
people fucking
reflections
using a
changes,
person's
right? You have
picture to make them sing a
basically
video.
triangle.
Yeah,
You have a light source, the reflection, and the point of view. If you raise that up, it appears that something is moving right on the screen. And Binger came to the conclusion that is Carl's hand, because it was just next to him, and he's a dumbbell because he does not adjust for all the variables. One of the variables changed, and that was the point of view. And this is scientific background comes in clutch again. Because I go in looking for what I see, not what supports my narrative, unlike fucking Binger. What a dumbbell. Jesus Christ. But that is not all. How is it possible?
I love this guy. Everybody should check out Logical Checkmate on YouTube.
Hope that it was just Binger.
Also, if you really care about the Kyle Rittenhouse case,
also with the previous
check out
one,
Via Radio. He dropped in for a second,
Kreuz
saying he can't join tonight
at the
because
very best
got other obligations.
is going
And
to the
also
U.S.
Johnny
Department
Walker
of
Tread,
Justice
who's joined
and
us
also
several
to
times.
the FBI via email.
They're
And
the
why? Because if this was done by
What is the flag
forensic
behind this
team
guy?
of Kenosha PD or anyone
Check.
else,
Shoot, Yugoslavia?
they
maybe?
could have sent plenty
Czech
of
is
innocent
a-
people
Czechoslovakia,
with
or
their
the Czech
absolute
Republic, my bad.
incompetence
Czech
to
Republic.
prison.
Czechoslovakia don't exist anymore.
And I think this should
I
be
mean, goddamn,
then
dude, the fucking
investigated.
flags, man, with
Okay, so
red, white, and
just
blue.
to
Jesus
recap.
Christ.
The most important
So, you think
part
he's
that
CZ
is
Chad?
the strap. You simply cannot
Nah,
explain it
man.
any other
He
way.
might be,
than
though,
how
but I doubt
Rittenhouse
it.
was facing the camera and not to his right,
I hope it's easy, Jazz. Easy, Jazz, cool.
to the Zeminski side.
Oh, okay.
It's simply not possible.
dude.
Doesn't work. The
Say
other
what you
thing
want about the
is,
Confederate flag, but at least it was
like,
interesting.
the smudge that is perceived as Carl's hand is already there in the footage. I 100% understand the footage is pretty crappy, but it is still there. The pixels are right there. If someone has a better footage, I would really appreciate it. You know, like the best. You know,
Like
you
I said,
can.
man, you just
The
wait and see.
source,
Eventually,
if
they'll
someone
start
has
having
contact
quote
on the
unquote drone
offer,
footage or surveillance
please,
footage of you committing
I
a
beg
crime
of
that you
get
never
me
even were
the
there for.
Original file, you know, and I'll just go. I'll show you. I'll show
All
you all.
this shit is leading to, man.
It is there, right
More
there
surveillance, less
for
freedoms.
everyone to see.
Definitely.
So this is absolutely critical evidence. Can it
And I
be
guarantee
as-
you it'll be a
as
bill
submitted
like
to
the
the court?
Patriot Acts
Hell
where it's
no.
like, don't
But
you want your
please
cities to
help
be more
me
safer?
to get it to the
Why not
defense
install
team
this
so they know where
citywide
to
fucking
look
surveillance
and
system?
what
You
to
would agree with that,
argue.
right, Americans?
Get
Just like the
chipped.
Patriot
Because
Act.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get on
I'm
surveillance
really good at this
24/7
stuff.
in your apartment,
I
in
really
your
regret
house.
that I don't have a
building.
direct line of communication with the defense team. Yeah.
And
also
Mr.
with-
Smith,
well,
you disagreed with the
that I don't
fucking
have,
state
enough
certified
subscribers,
fucking
basically,
letter.
and
Well, guess
enough
what?
viewers
Time to fake
to
you doing
really
a
make
crime in
real
your city.
changes, because I
Instant
show the
jail.
truth, and I'm really good at uncovering it. So if you want more of this,
Sorry, man.
type
I'm
of
going into
content,
conspiracy theories and shit at this point. My bad,
please
dog.
do subscribe. Please share this video. Not, by the way, the main reason is not for me, for my subscription base and stuff like that.
I just think
No.
it's very scary that a
Make
major
others
case in the United
see.
States
Get
is
the truth
talking
out there,
about
because in the end,
drone
this is a
footage
young
surveillance
man's
and
life we
pixels.
are talking about.
that
And
worries
the
me.
dumbbell binger is trying to put him behind bars for the rest of his life using lies. So, as always, I will see you in the next one, and until then, have a good one.
Oh yeah, it even says checkmate. Yeah, it is
Right.
Czech Republic.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that video is really good. V Radio was in here for a little bit. He has a video that was described similar things.
Who?
I am V Radio.
Yeah, I saw a post in there.
Yeah, he came in and he said like you can't join tonight, which I understand. Like I said, I was gonna invite them, but yeah, obviously like last minute stream, can't expect people to join in. But he has a video too that like makes it pretty fucking obvious. In fact, I'll send that to you so we can watch it because it's much shorter, but it's also pretty hilarious as to why the prosecution's narrative that Kyle pointed a gun at somebody is total fucking bullshit, completely fabricated.
Well,
I
so
think
I
it's
don't.
to the point where it is prosecutorial misconduct. Like they're literally just making shit up as a Hail Mary to win their case.
Well, so I don't know how long y'all and iRate are planning on streaming, but I was just curious. There's something I gotta know before we continue. Do you think that he will be charged guilty or innocent? And how do you think that's going to go down?
All right. So my answer is I think he actually is going to be innocent of all charges. The reason I think that, I did not think that before today, but the people that was talking about V Radio, John Dread, Logical Checkmate, they actually had somebody from Kenosha on that has been there watching the jury and all the things that, like, you know, I watch Ricketia Law, for example, or Ricketia Law. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say,
I-
Ricketia, you've been
Yeah,
watching some Asian
I
lawyer
mispronounce
fucking-
his name all the
I
time.
am a Ricketia lawyer.
Yeah,
I
so
am
I
here
watched-
to.
I've watched Ricketia Law's streams for the entire thing, and it doesn't. His stream cannot possibly tell the story of what the jury is looking like. And from what I heard today from somebody that was actually in court the entire time, like, for example, Binger's cross-examination of Kyle, where he treats him like a little kid, is talking down to him, he's sitting there trying to cry. Like, apparently the jury was just looking at them like, why is this guy being such a fucking asshole? Right? Like, it wasn't actually helping their case, which would explain why, you know, like Nick Rekieta was saying object,
Okay,
object,
okay,
object,
yeah,
but they
yeah.
let
And
it go
his whole
Well, it
because
seemed
stream,
the
like he was
jury.
trying to run him ragged.
his whole stream was saying you should object, you should object. Why is his
Well,
lawyer not objecting?
well,
But
and the person that was
oh
there
man, it's
watching the jury though was just like, just let it go because they just look at being here like he's a fucking asshole.
well, as far as the jury goes, I think. Oh, and Irate, I didn't get your answer. Do you think he'll be innocent or guilty?
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's reports that they were like taking pictures of jurors and shit, and you're planning on doxing them and shit. For violent means.
Well, right now, man, gun to your head, innocent or guilty?
All
Which
right,
way you going?
if I'm a jury member, are you asking me as a jury member?
No, I'm asking you. How do you think this will end? Do you think Kyle Rittenhouse will be innocent or guilty?
Dude, I don't know. See, that's the deal. It can go both ways, which it shouldn't have to. You know
Like I
what I'm
said,
saying?
man, all your money on the table, your future health, everything. Right now, if you had to choose, innocent or guilty.
I think he's not guilty. So,
All right.
that's the way that, I think the apple should fall, right?
Word. Well, yeah, man. Right now, if all the money on the table, my future health in jeopardy, everything. If I had to bet on it, I think he'll be convicted being guilty.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, to be honest. Not in the least.
Because we are living in the shittiest world and the shittiest timeline that's ever
Well,
existed for our generation, at least.
yeah, for our generation, I agree with that.
So yeah, I think this may very well turn into a political case because they've already tried doxing the fucking jurors, or the jury members. They've already done a lot of sneaky shit. I don't know, man. I hope that there's some light at the end of the fucking tunnel. I hope that there's some pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But yeah, knowing how 2020 and 2021 and what it looks like to be 2022 and 2019 are looking like, yeah, man, he'll probably be fucking guilty. So that way they don't fucking burn down fucking cities again or some shit. So I don't know, man. I mean, maybe he'll make it. Maybe.
Well, that's why there's been a lot of talk of potentially, like, especially with Judge Schroeder, who, he's super racist, super biased. Dude, he was appointed by a Democrat in 1983, and has been a judge ever since. There's a chance, like, if the jury comes up with this ridiculous, like, guilty of all charges, which I don't think the evidence could possibly support, right? That there might be a judgment notwithstanding verdict.
Well, do y'all think that like there could be a innocent on the big charges, but like guilty on some of the other charges, or some shit?
I thought that, but the curfew charge was already dismissed, and then the gun possession charge was a very interesting strategy by the defense, right? They made it so that they asked a few questions. Was Kyle 17? Yeah, everybody agreed he was 17, right? And then he asked, like, did you measure the length of the barrel? And, like, yeah, the length of the barrel was over 16 inches, right? Which, for the exception, makes it so that Kyle was in compliance with the law. And it is not up to the defense to prove that he was not guilty of carrying a firearm illegally, right? It is up to the prosecution to prove it. And they said they've offered nothing to prove that he was in violation of the law. So as a matter of law, I don't think the jury can even convict him of the firearm charge, because no evidence was submitted to show he was guilty.
I hope so too, man. I do. But I also am in, I don't know, 2019,
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
there's
right.
no way.
Like
There's no way
Yeah.
Trump could lose.
That's-
There's no way that this
hold
could
on,
happen.
right.
There's no way that this could happen. This could
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
There's no way
Well,
China would
it's-
like release a flu epidemic.
Yeah, man. It's like
Even
there's there's no way the world could be as we are currently experiencing it, but here we are. So yeah, do I think that there's a realm of possibility that Kyle could be charged guilty on everything and be thrown underneath the fucking
Yep.
courthouse? Fuck yeah, dude.
Exactly, because the facts don't necessarily matter, right? All that matters is the narrative to certain people. So if the jury buys into the narrative, then he's guilty. Because the narrative
And I
is
think
the
after
white
jurors,
supremacists that cross state lines. He crossed state lines
well,
to
I
shoot
think
black
the
people.
I think the
Ryan,
only
come
thing
back.
that'll I think the only thing that'll really fuck with people as far as jury stuff goes is the fact that the jurors know that they've already been tried. Someone's tried to dox them, so I think that could go into a little bit of some people, some jurors when the final moment happens, and the final decision is coming up. They're like, "Shit, am I gonna get doxxed after this? What's gonna happen to my family? Like, what am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to suffer through
Yep.
if I decide to do what's in my heart to fucking say is the reason why I'm saying guilty or innocent?" So I don't
That
know,
is
man.
a problem with this case.
Ryan, come back.
Ryan, where'd you go?
Yeah, please, Ryan, come back. It's been a while since I talked to that dude.
Ryan,
I
come
like
back.
that guy.
But no, like I agree with you. Like uh even in Vordaire, right, when they were trying to select the jury, a lot of jurors like came out and said, like, I'm afraid what would happen if I had to come to the conclusion that Kyle's innocent because I think it's gonna result in more riots in my city. Now, I don't actually believe that's gonna happen. I really don't. But I would understand why a juror would believe that.
Right.
Oh, and part of it is
Really?
just like the actual Black Lives Matters people are like, he shot 3 white boys. I don't give a shit. No
Yeah,
black
I
man
don't.
was shot.
Yeah, I really don't know how I feel about the whole BLM Antifa fucking shit. I mean, I don't support them obviously, but the more it's like I hear about it, especially in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, where it's like this happened because of BLM. These riots in Kenosha happened because of that organization, and Antifa was apparently there too. So when something like this happens, and this young man, this kid, whatever the fuck you want to call him, is going through this right now, it's like, how do those people get by scot free?
Right.
Well,
How do we not talk about how bad and subversive BLM and Antifa are to our country? Why do we not talk about, critical race theory and shit like that? Why? Because we're all talking about Kyle fucking Rittenhouse,
no,
and
and I have done nothing but like the reason we bring people on and the reason we talk about it on our rate show is I have a show talking about critical race theory and how Kyle Rittenhouse's case is 100% intertwined with the idea of critical race theory because it is completely based on narratives. And the narrative for the critical race theorist is that the only reason somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse would show up to a protest in the name of social justice is because they're a white supremacist that do not want to see revolutionary change, and therefore he is guilty just based on his thought crime.
yeah, 100%. He's not allowed to do those things or say those things. It's 1984 type shit, bro.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think this belongs on Irate's show for critical race theory. It's because what Kyle Rittenhouse did or didn't do, like Kyle Rittenhouse himself, he's not even important, right? It's the idea behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the narratives behind it, right?
Well,
Are we going to live in a country where somebody that's sitting there trying to defend their city from rioters is finds themselves in a shitty situation where maybe they were too naive to even know that they could possibly be put in that situation should be locked up forever versus people on the BLM side, which is obviously he showed up to stop our revolution, and therefore he's a white supremacist and he should just be fucking locked up, hung from a fucking noose. Like we don't need him here. I mean, that's literally how those people think. They really do. Like, it goes back to like imagine what they said about Trumpers.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing, Itzel, and I think you brought up a great point earlier that needs to be talked about in this case specifically. I think one of the most important things about the Kyle Rittenhouse case and what we're seeing right now is the fact of self-defense coming up as as something that is being talked about legally in the mainstream.
Mm.
Because I see, like, my own home state in Tennessee not that long ago was looked at all the gun laws that were coming through.
I'm going to interrupt you just for one question, just for an answer. When you were brought up and you were talking, like you learned about self-defense as a kid and whatnot, did they tell you about how like even a punch to the head could kill somebody?
Yeah,
So the
of
other
course.
person could claim self-defense.
Yeah.
So you learned that, right?
I learned what violence was and how to avoid it and how to do well under it and what constitutes hurting someone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sure. I'm just saying, like, I was brought up saying, like, the idea of self defense, like somebody that has a gun. Like, I was always brought up to say, like, the reason you don't attack people is because they could possibly decide to kill you, like if
Maybe.
you
Yeah.
attack
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Sure.
right?
Sure.
And they would be completely justified.
Yeah. But what I was mostly getting at was how for the first time in this country we're really talking about what constitutes self-defense. And I think in this case, if it goes badly, a lot of things may be used to predicate it on why, you shot someone breaking into your house. Okay, well, did you have the fucking porch light on? Look at this fucking camera angle from across the street. Here you can clearly see the guy was carrying a Black Lives Matter flag and was just knocking on your door, and then you shot him. So yeah, dude, there's like a lot of shit about like what constitutes fucking self-defense that I think is going to be brought up later out.
That's
throughout
why
this
the case
test.
is important, right? Like, should Kyle Rittenhouse have been there? It's not even actually a question of law. Like, nobody cares. We fought about that a little bit earlier. I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe he should have. He had a sense of duty. And you're like, nah, some kids should never put themselves in that situation. That's irrelevant as a matter of law. Completely irrelevant, right? All that really matters is that if somebody's being attacked and they're afraid for their life, they should be able to defend themselves. And if Kyle Rittenhouse is found guilty, it's gonna change like the landscape of when people feel comfortable with defending themselves.
It's gonna change what the meaning of self-defense is.
Absolutely. Like, it is a much bigger case than Kyle Rittenhouse. I actually don't give it, like, I mean, okay, I don't want to say don't give a shit about Kyle Rittenhouse. I do, because I've been following the case. I've learned too much about him. I learned, like, he just seems like kind of like, not a dumb kid, like, just a kid, though. And grew up in northern Wisconsin, felt he had a duty to his community. Like, even his testimony, I'm looking at him like, he is not even that political. Like, if you listen to what he said in interviews, like, he didn't really care about, like, he had nothing against Black Lives Matter.
4 doors for more whores, man. 4 doors for more whores,
well, no,
bro.
like, at some point, he actually said, there's like, I don't care. Like, if you want to go, like, burn and loot shit, go down to the government buildings, right? Just don't fuck with my friends or the people that, like, own businesses around here and burn them down because they didn't do anything wrong.
Right. Well, I see Doku out there and Roots and B Smiley. If y'all want to hop in, slide in the server, man, and Express yourself.
Yeah, help me out because I'm at this point where I'm just fucking mad.
All right, I got the
am
video
mad.
up. I got the V radio up.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and play it. You want to
Mhm.
join the watch stream again, Tennessee?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it. So this goes back to what's been
There's Rex.
off, which is this nonsense video evidence that has been submitted by the prosecution at the 11th hour, which actually got them, this is very important, jury instructions on provocation. Now, there was no evidence before these videos that there was any sort of provocation by Kyle Rittenhouse. None whatsoever. In fact, Binger has kept moving the bar. He first said that Kyle chased Joseph Rosenbaum. Turns out the FBI video where he said he was going to prove that did not prove that at all.
Mhm.
So 11th hour, they show these crazy fucking pictures that are hyper enhanced and said, this is proof Kyle pointed his gun at somebody else and provoked the first attack, which I think is going to be, like, for a jury, that's going to be the crux of the entire situation, right? Like, if Kyle actually pointed his gun at somebody and said, fuck you, I'm going to kill you, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, he just pointed a gun at somebody and then all the events ensued, like, a jury might be able to find him guilty. Maybe. Let's just watch this video because it explains exactly why the prosecution's evidence is total bullshit.
Gotcha.
The video we watched before said the same thing, but this one also proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Kyle Rittenhouse did not provoke an attack.
So I decided to do a little quick and dirty version of my explanation of what's going on in this clip of Kyle Rittenhouse. This was presented by the prosecutor to Kyle Rittenhouse while he was on the stand, I believe in an attempt to try to get some kind of a reaction out of Kyle in front of the jury. This footage was never shown in this way before this. For a long time, I struggled even be able to try to figure out what was going on in it until somebody did this. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of this to help you get it. So this helps you see where Kyle is in the picture, which is what Binger was pointing at earlier. I'm going to pause it. So one of the major issues is with the angle of the gun. In order for him to have been pointing the gun in this direction, which is what they're alleging, the gun would have had to have been on this, because his gun was on this shoulder the whole night. And he walks up to this scene with a fire extinguisher in his right hand. So he would have had to have taken this off, re-slung it, and then pointed it at someone. And this is all something that goes on, like, he's only like this for a very brief period of time before Joseph Rosenbaum jumps on him. Or jumps at him. Anyway, he starts running at him. The Zeminskis would have actually been on this side of the car. So this doesn't even make any sense. Now, I'm going to play this one more time to help you remember where Kyle is. The only thing that makes any sense would be if his rifle was this way, which is how he normally carries it. So we are to believe that he, for some reason, felt the need to switch his hand, switch hands with his rifle in the middle of a dangerous situation, which doesn't make any sense. But anyway. So now we're going to move on to another clip.
By the way,
this clip is taken from the court TV, and basically everybody was. This is actually the one I was talking about where they're presenting it to Kyle Rittenhouse, and you're going to be able to hear Kyle's testimony on this clip.
Let's play it one more time.
Kyle will be walking through here. Sets down the fire extinguisher.
Pause. Mr. Rittenhouse, so can you see in that video that you raised your weapon and pointed it at someone? Let's play it one more time. He's answered your question.
Fingers bullshit fucking questioning.
Again, look through here.
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me all right?
Pause.
Yep, watch irate stream. Or his Discord.
Click the line
It doesn't
live.
look like I raised my rifle. It looks like my shoulder's up, but my rifle is pointed downward.
Now that's Kyle's interpretation of it. It would have been mine as well, because it doesn't make any sense. He's also seen on video with the fire extinguisher in this hand and the gun in this hand. Now I'll show some other clips to verify that. Now this clip is taken from my documentary. As you can see, Kyle's rifle would be pointing this way, because it's slung over here on this side. Now this is happening like, I don't know, less than a second after the clips we were just looking at. But it's evident exactly where Kyle's gun is. And what he's doing, which is walking away. Or rather, running at this point. Alright, now I have it in slow motion here from the documentary. Here's Kyle. Turning away. There's the gun. Would be pointing this way now. There's Rosenbaum behind him. He starts to run. So this is also taken from a documentary. You're going to see Kyle run by. This is the first time he's seen with a fire extinguisher, and it's in his left hand, the gun on his right.
There goes Kyle.
So he just ran by with a fire extinguisher in his left hand, and the gun in his right. This clip has been played many times.
Arla.
Now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to where you see him again. So now we're a little further down the road. Let's listen to Kyle, first of all, asking if anybody needs medical attention, and he's still walking along with the fire extinguisher in his left hand, a gun in his right.
Asking about medical again.
Now, if you were carrying a rifle, would you carry the fire extinguisher in the same hand? Obviously not. So all night long, Kyle was walking along with his gun, again, in his right hand. And it's very clear what was going on now. But the prosecution is literally trying to throw an image at the jury that is unclear, hoping that people can't use common sense. Use common sense.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's complete fucking bullshit. The prosecution is trying to manufacture evidence. I don't see a way around
It's
that.
crazy that they would admit.
What? Ryan himself is roboting. Ryan, you sound like a fucking robot.
Yo,
Fix your
robot.
shit.
Whoa.
Doku, what was your opinion on that?
It's pretty damn obvious the prosecution is trying to do whatever they possibly can to get something to stick, and if that means they have to lie, twist, or go as far as to fabricate something to try to convince the jury that, you know, they're in the right on this one and they should convict Kyle. Trust me, dude. If I know you guys have probably been watching Binger and the prosecution. Like, Binger's a fucking scumbag, man. Like, this guy doesn't give a shit about.
I have been for sure. Like, Binger is absolutely a scumbag.
Yeah, like, he doesn't give a shit about whether Kyle is guilty or innocent. He just wants to fucking further his career, and
he's a politician.
I don't even know if he's really doing this to fulfill a political agenda, or if he's doing it just because he's that one asshole fucking prosecutor that everybody knows who's just trying to further his career by any means necessary.
So the stream earlier that I was watching had actually Kevin, God, can't remember his last name. Anyway, he was the Kenosha Guard member that posted the Facebook thing, which turned out Kyle never saw, didn't care about. He was already there cleaning up graffiti well before that person ever like made a call to, hey, let's just show up and make sure that our city doesn't fucking burn down, because apparently that is an evil right-wing position. Anyway, like, that guy showed up and like he already said, like, yo, like, it totally makes sense that Kyle would be there. Totally makes sense that people were trying to defend their city. I don't even know where to go from here. Like, it was just obvious.
Like, I've been seeing a lot of really stupid hot takes on Twitter, as I was saying in the chat. Like, there's a lot of people who are trying to use the argument like, oh, well, Kyle shouldn't have been there. Kyle was breaking curfew because he, in their minds, is legally not allowed to even be in possession of the firearm. Then him using it for self-defense is like completely null and void. And that is just such a dumb fucking argument.
Dismissed, by the way. Like,
I heard about that. But it's just such a dumb fucking argument, because basically, essentially what you're saying is that, well, because you're 17, even though you're getting your head beaten in with a fucking skateboard, you're not allowed to grab a gun and then point it and shoot somebody with it to defend yourself because you're legally not allowed to be in possession of a firearm. Like, that's the like, in a legal sense, that's the logic behind the argument they're trying to make, which is just absurd. It's insane. And like, oh, well, Kyle shouldn't be there because he was breaking curfew, then, you know, the fact that he had to defend himself is null and void. Like, it's not self-defense because he never should have been there. No, that's not how that works. Whether he should be there or not has no bearing on whether or not he was justified in using a weapon to defend his life, if he felt that his life was truly in danger. And by the way, I like to twist this argument on people when they're trying to make this whole, well, he knew there was going to be riots and da-da-da. It's like, yeah, he knew there was going to be riots. There was riots literally the night before, and the police did fucking nothing. The National Guard weren't there. So by your own logic, by your own sense of argument, Kyle not even just Kyle. No one should ever go to a location or into a situation where they know that businesses are going to get burned down. Innocent people might potentially be hurt. They shouldn't go there to, whether it's to defend a business or to defend their own business or to film or to offer medical care or to clean up graffiti. No one should ever go to a dangerous situation ever again. And oh, by the way, we're not going to do jack shit about it because we have mayors and governors who tell the police that they can't do their fucking jobs. And no, we're not gonna punish the rioters. We're not gonna lock them up. Like, that is fucking stupid. That's capitulation. So you just want to let rioters go have their way with every fucking town on a whim whenever they damn well please? No. That's not how this fucking works. If the police won't do their fucking job or you prevent them from doing their job, guess what's gonna happen? People are gonna defend their property. To say that they shouldn't is probably one of the most daft arguments I think I've heard anybody make this year.
Yep, I'm just going to defer the rest of the stream to Doku because you have the right idea of all.
Well, hold on. All right, so let's say hey to Clockwork Rex, who's joined us. Hey, Rex.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Rex?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I'm getting my drunk on a Sunday. You know.
There you go.
Any day that ends with a Y. Any day that ends with a Y.
I can agree with that. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, too. But yeah, I mean, in the county and the state that I live in, I have a posted no trespassing sign on my property. And if you come on my property, I can fucking shoot you in the face. I probably won't. I'll just kneecap your ass. But I can legally shoot you in the face and get away with it.
That's right.
Well, again, that's the thing. Like, they say, oh, this wasn't Kyle's community. He works there. He was friends with people who live there. They're saying, oh, well, he shouldn't be there. He has every right to be there. To say that he doesn't, like, okay, oh, he broke curfew. Whoop-de-fucking do. Give him a fine. Like, who the fuck cares? To say that he shouldn't be there is
even at that point, Doku, how many people did Kyle shoot that weren't attacking him first?
Zero.
Oh,
and here's the other funny part. I heard somebody, I was watching a Hoodservatives channel, and he was listening to, as he calls it, Black Twitter, was having, I guess, like a Zoom meeting or a debate where they're talking about the Rittenhouse trial. And someone was trying to make the argument that because he got a firearm that was already in Kenosha, that was given to him by the actual owner, the adult, there's an adult supervision thing in there. Well, he was an adult that gave him the gun, technically supervised. Now, does the adult have to be there all the time? I'm not sure exactly how that works. Do I have to watch the 17-year-old when they're hunting or shooting targets 24/7 all the time? Am I not allowed to blink? Yeah, you see how that argument in court would fall apart really quickly, but I digress. So
yeah, it's not relevant to self-defense. It is relevant to the minor in possession charge, and it turns out that they tried to get the charge dismissed. They tried real hard, but they actually very sneakily made it so that there's no way any reasonable jury can convict them, because it's up to the prosecution to disprove that Kyle could not have that firearm. And the prosecution in the entire trial did nothing to prove that Kyle was in illegal possession of the firearm. So if the jury comes up with anything other than not guilty of that charge, I mean, I don't even know what the judge is going to do, because the prosecution provided no evidence.
Well, I think the judge actually flat out said that he would overturn it if they came back with a guilty on the possession charge. At least that's what I heard.
He didn't flat out say it, but you could infer it from his words.
All right, but anyways, I got off on a tangent there because I want you to listen to this, because this is some peak stupidity here. So this guy was trying to make the argument that because Kyle went to a location that was not a car source or the mechanic shop or anything to acquire a firearm is premeditation. So it was premeditated acquiring a weapon for self-defense?
Premeditated self-defense.
Yeah, no, like,
it's a dumb fucking argument. Like, that's the dumbest of all fucking arguments, right?
That's why I had to tell you.
So why would you carry a firearm for protection? Because you might find yourself in a dangerous situation. It's that easy, right?
I know.
And in fact, the entire idea of open carry, which is to show people you have a gun, is to deter them from trying to do something nefarious, because you openly have a firearm that you can use in response to their nonsense.
I've tried to make that argument before, like, hey guys, you want to know what have prevented these 3 dudes from getting shot? Not attacking the kid with the gun. Like, just, I know this might sound like a bit of a pro-life hack here or something, but usually when you see somebody with a gun, it's probably not a good idea to either rush them, try to take the gun away, hit them over the head with an object, point a weapon at them. These are kind of things that, might put your life in danger. I know it's a far-fetched concept, but just hear me out on that one. Trust me, good advice.
And here's a head scratcher. The same people that talk about, oh, he crossed state lines. Ain't these the same people?
State lines.
Yeah, ain't these the same people that believe that we shouldn't have borders?
Yeah, borders are just imaginary lines on the map.
They don't believe anything.
Yeah. I mean, for all they know, Kyle's a sovereign citizen.
Ryan is correct. That
they don't believe in anything.
Argument that means nothing, and they just think they can throw it out there to make people think that Kyle did something wrong.
That's the thing.
They don't believe in anything. They believe in whatever it takes. They believe in whatever benefits them in the moment. They don't stand for anything.
They believe in their narrative.
Exactly, and that's how these people operate. They don't care about logical consistency. They don't care about moral values or having standards. They just want to win. As long as they're right, they don't care if they're morally correct or if they're factually correct. They just want to be right, but whatever it takes. Yeah. I mean, they're children. I mean, they really are. It's like arguing with 3-year-olds. It's like, no, exactly. Billy, the sky is blue. It's not green. No, it's green. And I could tell you why, because Johnny talked to his mom, whose aunt told him that she heard President Brandon say that the sky was green. No,
President
it's not.
Brandon. Nice. Keeper Dam, it's good to join you. Good of you to join us. It's good to be here.
I had
So did you want
jump off for a little bit.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope they don't come back and burn my childhood town down, because I don't know. I mean, they've taken enough damage. Like when I was watching like the car on fire, I was like, oh crap, are they going to go after the place I volunteer at, and I was like debating whether or not I should call or text someone, like another volunteer who goes there, because I didn't want to wake him up because it was like 2 in the morning. But yeah, also like the rumor that his mom drove him. Yeah, that's not true either.
See,
So now that we have a nice panel, I just want to do like a panel circulation. What do you think is going to happen in Kenosha if Kyle is found not guilty?
Right.
I believe you're looking at a category 3, maybe 4 chimp out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I did see on the news, like, I know it's NBC and that they can't be trusted, but like they mentioned the National Guard being there, and hopefully they'll do something about it. But I just don't want there to be another Kyle Rittenhouse, having to, take care of stuff because the police won't do anything. So, but yeah, I talked to my mother about it, who used to, work at the courthouse and for the nearby law offices, and she said that they should be more prepared this time because they were even boarding up when it was announced that the cop who shot Jacob Blake was acquitted, but they didn't come back, thankfully.
And,
that was an obvious.
And moments like these, I'm just glad I live in the South, because when the whole George Floyd riots happened all over the place, it only lasted for about a couple of days, because after about the first day, the cops went, "Hey, y'all arm yourselves. If someone starts to throw bricks and stuff at your business, you have permission to shoot on sight." Guess what? No riots.
Yeah, there's a restaurant, like uptown Kenosha, that was we're just recovering from a fire from, I don't know what caused the fire, but when the George Floyd killing happened, I guess someone threw a Molotov cocktail there and it got, lit on fire again. But they're still recovering, they're still in business, so it didn't get burned down or anything. And they also I think they torched a cop house in Racine, but that's pretty much, except for graffiti, that's all the damage that happened in that town. So.
All right, I'm gonna pose the question in another way. If Kyle Rittenhouse is found guilty of all charges, what do you think the right-wing response is going to be, or anybody defending him is going to be? Like, do you think there's going to be any response or protest or anything of the sort
from the right?
Probably.
Protest minus the riots, yeah.
You know what? I'm not even going to say the right anymore, because as I've been paying attention, one of these videos is like about leftist, and granted, like, he's a left liberal, right? Like, not a communist. But one of the videos we saw was a person that was just like, yeah, based on the facts of the case, I just don't believe that Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty of anything. But if he's found guilty, do you think that there's going to be any sort of civil unrest?
I don't think there's going to be civil unrest. I think you'll see, like protests or demonstrations and things along those lines. You might see some picketing out front of the courthouse, but the right isn't the type to go out and try to break into the courthouse and burn it down because they don't get their way. I mean, that's just, we don't really see that.
I think that the 3 boomers on your local Facebook group, you might see them all out on the sidewalk one of the day, but one of the, if that were to happen. Apart from that, though, I think you're right. I don't think that, well, they're not really the burn, looting, and murder type, first of all. And, I think it's going to be overwhelmingly disappointing.
And even if Kyle is found not guilty, I think you're definitely going to see the left show up. But just the fact that I did double check it, and they have deployed the National Guard already. So, and the fact that it's cold now, let's be honest, a lot of these people, if they're uncomfortable even in the slightest, they're not going to show up. So it's not going to be to the same extent as it was last
these
summer.
People, man?
If Kyle gets convicted, 2 things are going to happen. There'll be some demonstrations, and the other one, people are going to get together and make sure that kid lives as comfortable as possible in prison. He's going to have money for his commissary. I bet.
Well, and that's the thing. I think you will see if he's found not guilty. The left will show up, but it's going to be a much more muted response than what it would be if. I mean, to be blunt, if the National Guard wasn't there, I'd be saying without a shadow of a doubt the city's going to burn for a third night. But the fact that the National Guard's already deployed, that's going to deter a lot of people who normally otherwise would show up. And let's be honest, the riots over this summer, the vast majority of those people aren't from Kenosha. They're not going to drive 6 hours to go burn down Kenosha for a third time, knowing the National Guard is deployed simply because they lost a trial. Like they're not going to do that. They might want to do it.
They can do that in their own cities too. I mean, Oakland is going to get set on fire. Everybody, LA, they can do it in their own dang counties.
I'd be keeping my eye on Madison. Like, if anything, I think you're going to see any mass, like real mass demonstrations. I don't think they'll go to Kenosha, but they could likely go to Madison or Chicago.
Before I started working, I would say I kind of believe you, but after seeing how stupid people can be firsthand, like, nah, there will be people out there dumb enough to go out there and try and burn the place down again.
I mean, that's why I say it's probably going to be a muted response. It's not going to be like the night where the night in question happened. Instead of being a few hundred people, it'll probably be like a few dozen. And of those few dozen, maybe a third of them will actually bring some fireworks or Molotovs with them.
And I agree. Also, like, especially because from like actual Black Lives Matters protesters or even agitators, right? They're gonna look at this and be like, I'm not gonna fucking show up to demonstrate for some kid that killed 3 white guys. Like, I think they're actually. Well, I think. Let me be very correct here. I don't think that they necessarily care about the facts of a situation. I think they're smart enough to be like, yeah, we don't need to put ourselves in front of 3 white guys getting killed, right? They just don't. I don't think that they're gonna necessarily throw the books at the establishment to disrupt and dismantle over the deaths of 3 white guys.
Excel, let's be honest. The only guaranteed response that if Kyle is indeed found not guilty the guaranteed response from BLM is they're gonna bitch and moan on Twitter. Midas Touch or fucking Truly American or Brooklyn Dad Defiance gonna get some stupid hashtag trending. The next evening, Joy Reid. Next evening, Joy Reid's gonna have a freaking meltdown, and that's gonna be the extent of it.
So, like, out of all the Black Lives Matters protesters, right? Like, if you look at Twitter, 95% of the Twitter people aren't gonna show up, right? They just stand behind Twitter. It's like 5% of those people, and in that 5% of people that are left, they're not gonna show up to riot for the deaths of 3 white guys. They're just not gonna do it.
I mean, if they thought that they could get away with like looting and getting some free shit, you might actually see a better turnout. But let's be blunt, it's Kenosha. It's not exactly like they have a Prada or a Gucci stores in every corner there. It's just not exactly lucrative.
I shared with you an image, and I mean, it's the quintessential image of the anti-cows on Twitter. And I think that we should have some make fun of. This is from Bad Bunny. Some Twitch thought.
Oh, good.
And her, 11 ways that fascists defend Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh God, I saw that shit.
So if you can bring that up, put it on stream and share it with everybody else. I would love to go through these one by one.
This shit is funny.
It's comedy to end the stream, right? Because we only got like 20 minutes left, so we should do it.
So standing up for self-defense or the rule of law makes you a fascist?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's one of the scenes, like, when you look at it as a whole, you're just like, is this comedy? But then I actually watched it was a Flamenco TV, if you don't subscribe to that guy. If you're a gamer and are into current events, sub to Flamenco TV. He's pretty funny. But she was actually typing this out, like, as she was streaming, explaining how like this is all like everything that is on this image is literally what she typed out.
Oh no, she's serious. I thought it was satire at first.
It's not satire. She really believes that these are reasons to just don't even engage with this type of argument, right? Because facts, that's too much.
Wasn't that her point? I'm not looking at the image right now, but wasn't that kind of her point at the end of that, where she said
he's a racist white supremacist that showed up to kill black people, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Anybody challenges you, just call him a fascist, and you're good.
You know, they're not sending their best. The left and their many robots are not arming.
Not only are you good, but you're
their,
correct, right? To her,
they're not supporting. They're not setting.
Your argument all of a sudden is completely supported by I don't know, whatever she says it is.
I mean, it's sad when the that meme, everybody I disagree with politically is literally Hitler.
I'll bring up the first one. The image that Irate's about to pop up on the stream. It's gonna say top 11 ways fascists defend Kyle Rittenhouse. Number one,
I've seen that.
They say fascists say he was acting in self-defense and defending property. Bum. God, what a zinger.
They really hate property.
And this is literally the everyone I don't like is literally Hitler meme. Yeah, like it's the meme has become true. Like it's not a joke anymore. It's literally their guidebook for political discourses. You disagree with me? You're fascist, Hitler, racist, Nazi, istophobic, and whatever bad word you can throw at me. Like that's not an argument. That's deflection at best and slander at worst.
Yeah, I think they're out of words.
Sorry about that, guys. I lost sound for a second.
No, you're good, man. So Rate's got the everyone I disagree with is literally Hitler meme up on the screen.
Wait. Yeah, and I'm sitting here, and when I was looking at the case, it's like, how can you be labeled a white supremacist when one of the things he was doing was help protect a set of car lots owned by Indians?
Good question.
Shut up, dude.
Don't use logic.
To the truth. Yeah, don't.
Logic is illegal in clown world.
For real.
Excel, did you want to read these?
Well, yeah. So, like, first off, like, if you watch the video, it's hilarious because she's actually saying only fascists would say this, right? Like, and even it says that she doesn't offer any counterclaims. She's like, these are fascistic arguments. So, like, number one, he was acting in self-defense, defending property. Oh my God! What? Only fascists would do that.
Well, good to know. Wait a second. Defending the individual is a fundamentally not fascist thing because fascism is about the collective more than anything else. It's about the state. You're technically doing harm to the state by killing another citizen in self-defense or defending your property. Like that makes no sense.
It goes through the stupidity of people that like are anti-Cals, which is fascism to them is just like anything that's anti neo-Marxist communism, which is why I've said to Irate where like this case is you cannot disconnect the link between Kyle Rittenhouse, the arguments being made in public, and this push for critical theory. Because only under a critical mindset can you say Kyle was not acting in self-defense. Only in a critical mindset can you say he was showing up to oppose the revolution, right? He was opposing, disrupting, and dismantling the system that we think is white supremacist. Only in that situation was he not acting in self-defense.
Well, if this was a black dude doing the exact same thing Kyle was doing, they'd be going after him too. Because it's not about race, it's about ideology. And if they perceive you to be not on their side, well, guess what? You're a fascist.
I've actually said that to people that were talking, like, make this comparison. Imagine if it was a black kid that did the same thing that Kyle did. And I was like, I would have supported him just the same. And they're like, no, you wouldn't have, whatever. And I was like, no, I would have, but you would have considered him a black white supremacist, because apparently we live in the age where multiracial white supremacy is a real thing.
That's fine. Yeah, tell me how bad an alternate version of myself is in a different timeline that doesn't exist. Like, here's what you would be doing on a, if this were a different plane, this is what you would be doing. That makes no sense at all.
Tell me how you know me better than I know myself.
Well, and so number two, so like I actually watched what you said, like he was crying real tears or whatever, and like she just went off on talking about how like psychopaths can force tears out of their eyes and whatnot, and I just thought that was fucking nuts.
Anyone who has been through or knows someone with PTSD knows what that shit looks like. That is a trauma-induced panic attack. I have had them myself.
Yeah, like, so I have an anxiety disorder, and it doesn't manifest the way that did, but I've also, 10 years ago, it was my band. We're in our van, we're on tour, we're driving down this fucking 2-lane highway, and this truck tries to pass us and runs directly into another car that was driving down the other lane. And we have to, like, we thought we got hit. We stopped. My other bandmates and me, we pull, they were an elderly couple. We pull the wife out of the car, and the man is just crushed under there. Like, it's fucking a bloody scene. There's nothing we could do. I fucking threw up, and it haunted me for months. It didn't cause me post-traumatic stress disorder or anything like that. But I just don't think that people who have never actually seen somebody die, they're not trained in a situation where they're constantly seeing people die, know what it's like. Like, watching a person die is a fucking it's scary. Yeah, like I said, I fucking vomited like right after that. Like, it was so, like, this dude just fucking was crushed in blood, and like I'm walking off to the side, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, we can't do anything. I just threw up.
And that's the other thing.
Even
that's
watching
annoying.
people die on the internet is pretty traumatizing. I mean, I've watched some ISIS videos, and I've watched a lot of fucked up shit, and a lot of that stuff is like,
it's fucked up on
I
the
can't even
internet.
imagine what it would be.
Imagine it by 100. It's 100 times worse in real life.
Exactly.
That's the other thing I've noticed about a lot of people who are commentating, as the popular word is, on the Rittenhouse trial. And they think they know how they would react or how they would compartmentalize and cope with the fact that they just took the lives of 3 people. Unless you have, no, you fucking don't. Like, don't pretend. I mean, I've seen death up close and personal only twice in my life, and the first time it put me into an alcoholic depression for like a better part of a year. I was drinking a bottle, not like alcoholic like I am today, where I'm only drinking beer, like a full-on 1 bottle of Jack every night for 10 months straight. Like, I should be fucking dead right now. But
yeah, they don't know what they're gonna do. These are the same people that shake like a leaf on a tree when you tell them that no, you're not gonna wear a fucking mask in their store. Like, for them to pretend as if they would have been able to maintain their composure, or he's somehow faulty or stupid or a pussy for getting up there and crying. Please.
And again, that's the thing where, like, that's why number 2 actually is probably the one that irritates me the most out of all 11. Is clearly, whoever the fuck this thought is, has never been through any type of a stress-induced panic attack or any sort of traumatic experience, because it's an involuntary response. The reason Kyle is struggling is because he's trying to keep control of his composure, and his body, mentally, because of the chemicals that are being released in his brain, recalling the experience, is reacting in such a way that he has no control over. That's what's happening. He's not faking it. He literally has no control over it. You can see him trying to hold it back. Like, it's a pretty common sight.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to fake an ugly cry like that. I don't know. I'm right when I saw that too. I was like, God damn it! You're gonna have all these fucking idiots come out of the woodwork because now they finally got something that they can work with, and they did. I don't know.
Well, number 3 is another really good one. Excel, you there? I'll just read number 3 real quick. He deserves due process. Like, so
that's fascism.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even know what to say about this. Like, due process under a court of law.
What fucking country did this fucking asshole grow up in? I mean, goddamn.
I have no idea.
How fucking retarded does she have to be? I mean, Jesus. Their frontal lobes, you can't use them, actually, people.
Two pisses me off, but due process is fascism. No, it's due process under the court of law. It's the exact opposite. Like,
yeah, it's freedom.
Yeah, it's you deserve a free and fair trial by your peers and your jury of your peers. Like, that's
right.
It's not the gulag. It's not getting sent to a camp. Like, that's not.
How does that square with the idea? How does that square with the idea that this kid was like some vigilante killer? Like, if you're upset that he was a vigilante killer, supposedly, you would be upset at the fact that, Rosenbaum and the other two didn't get their due process. So how do you square that with the idea that he's this vigilante who's taking the law into their own hands?
That's a really good question. I haven't considered that, but that's a really good point. If anybody knows who was this, Bad Bunny or whatever? If anybody knows who this individual is, go ask her that. See if she's got a response for us.
Dude.
I'd love to see the mental gymnastics.
It's vigilante.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch these people that, they spend all this time talking about how they need to burn all the prisons down, but they've taken such a carceral tone towards this. It's like I said, they don't believe in anything. They're like the fucking nihilists from The Big Lebowski.
Well, and also, and they say like, oh, Kyle's a vigilante killer. It was premeditated. He was going there with the intent to shoot people. He had a lot of targets, and from what I can tell, he didn't expend every round that was in that magazine. So, if what they're suggesting is true, then Kyle's the worst violent white supremacist on the planet.
Yeah, a lot of them painted it out to be like he showed up with the intent to kill, and it was just like he was an active shooter. And I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to it come from Cenk Uygur, and I'm listening to it come from Joe Scarborough. Those two have pissed me off. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to like remove myself from the situation and like try to pretend as if I'm just hearing this for the first time. They're painting a very different picture in people's heads.
Well, Scarborough's a legit piece of shit, man. That'll do anything for a goddamn penny. So it's like you don't know what the fuck he thinks.
Yeah, Scarborough's a fucking scumbag.
He's just saying what they're throwing money at him for. What a whore. He's a whore. That's
yeah, I mean, by literal definition, yeah, technically he is.
Yes.
Excel, we're on number 4 if you want to move past.
Yeah, sorry, I had something come up. I got distracted.
Yeah, no worries, man. I figured.
Well, number 4 was like, this isn't about white supremacy. The victims were white. This is actually true. Like, I don't know where to go with that. I don't.
I mean, like, no one said it was about white supremacy. It's about it's about self-defense. Like, you guys are the one that was branding it white supremacy from the beginning. Yeah, like
there's a narrative. Like I said, the people that subscribe to the toxic cult ideology of critical theory think that everything's about narratives, and that because he showed up in opposition of people that are dismantling and disrupting the corrupt white supremacist system, that he's a white supremacist. But for regular people that aren't fucking crazy, you're just like, well, if he was a white supremacist showing up to kill black people, he had plenty of opportunities. Like, how did he fail so hard?
Yeah, no, this to even make that assertion, like number 4 is just wild. Like that's how you know that you've been huffing the paint way too long. Like that number 4 should not be on this list at all.
And number 5 is just something that's like factually true. He was vilified by the media, and we don't know all the facts.
Well,
that's true. Like,
yeah,
they've lied about so much stuff. Like, just the very simple thing, he crossed state lines with a rifle. Like, that just didn't happen. Like, that's factually incorrect.
I mean,
and
facts are fascism now.
Well, even then, like, I just think, like, does it really fucking matter where he got the rifle? No. But if you can't do the due diligence to realize he didn't fucking cross lines with a rifle, like his mom didn't just drop him off at a protest with a gun for him to defend himself, like none of the things ever happened. And if you can't do the due diligence to realize that didn't happen, like I don't even give a shit what else you have to say, because you obviously don't care about the facts. You just don't care.
I knew the next day after this had happened that the rifle that Kyle had was purchased in Wisconsin and was registered in Wisconsin, and it was never ever outside of state lines.
Yep.
And that was the next fucking day.
Yeah. Anybody that cares to know the facts, can find them. Like, it's not that hard.
And that's the thing. It's not that I even went out to like look to see where the rifle was from. It was just one of those things that was in a video talking about what had happened. And it's just, yeah, by the way, this is where he got the gun. Because everybody was wondering where he get the gun from. It's like one of the first things people found out. Like, it literally is like, I think it's like the 3rd or 4th detail that we knew about the entire incident.
Yeah, like on the next on our list is sea lioning, which is, she's misusing the word, but like, how was Kyle racist? That's actually a good question. Like, we need to answer that. If we're gonna claim that Kyle's a white supremacist racist, we need to have evidence. God, it's like one of those logical fallacies that is like the opposite of steel manning, right? It's a type of trolling. Actually, I'm just going to go straight from Wikipedia. Sea lioning, also spelled sea lioning and sea space lioning, is a type of trolling or harassment that consists of pursuing people with persistent requests for evidence or repeated questions. ... In other words, like, I get it. There might be a fallacy where you do this, right? Where people present their evidence, and you're just like, well, what's your real evidence? Like, give me more evidence. That's not what's happening here, right? How is Kyle racist? Like, all you have to do is provide one bit of evidence that he's racist, but you can't. And you're calling that sea lioning? No, it's not. How is this white supremacy? Provide some evidence that he acted in a way where he was supporting white supremacy, even in their original version of what white supremacy is. It doesn't fit.
He did flash the OK sign at a bar one time.
Oh, true. Right.
I mean, if you're getting your picture taken with Proud Boys, try not to make an OK sign. Like, you probably just did it out of like being a little bit nervous.
If they were that's Proud Boys, like, I don't even know they were. Like, nobody knows they were.
Well, yeah, that's true too. I'm not sure myself, but that's just in their circles, that's just polite. That's a good way to let them know that you're on the team, or whatever. Not the team, but hey, I'm ideologically with you guys.
I'm gonna be really fair. Like, this person is very well aware that how is this white supremacy? Like, well, she sees white supremacy as this thing that could be potentially multiracial under critical theory, which goes back to why I want to cover it on this channel, which is about critical theory, because I think the Kyle Rittenhouse case completely inseparable to this new push of critical theory and critical social justice. And that is literally, I watched the Bad Bunny stream. Pick your social justice like ad hominem, right? She chose them all, right? She was like, she brought up marginalized people, how it's unfair to them, how if you're white, you couldn't possibly understand. Like, these are all things that are just straight out of the social justice textbook. Number 7, the facts of the case, ...
Facts are kind of important when you're determining guilt or innocence. So
it would be different if I watched her and she actually was like pointing out facts of the case.
All right. No. Hold on now. They did not focus on Grosskreuz's story. They didn't focus on his truth.
Oh, you mean exactly. the guy who testifies that he pointed a gun and then goes on the media and says he didn't?
So this Bad Bunny chick didn't even get that far. Like, she was really like, just the facts of the case, the facts, blah blah blah. Facts don't matter. Narrative. That's all.
Only a liar says that.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate the facts because it undermines the stupid shit that they have to say.
Liars
are lying.
Saying it, right? Yeah.
Cultists that just believe what they're told. So number 8 was like, put yourself in his shoes if it were me. Like, all that is going back to, oh well, I can deflect this because he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have worn that dress.
Yeah, that's just it's not even a good excuse, but it's an excuse nonetheless. Like, if you want to deflect, at least do a bit of a better job about it. Like, that one's just kind of sad.
Well, and number 9, the victims were no angels. Like, she actually did nothing to talk about the people that were shot. Nothing. She just said, it doesn't matter. He showed up there and he just happened to kill these people and she said nothing about the fact that Rosenbaum just got out of a mental health institution. Fucking Huber, threatened his fucking
his sister,
his entire family. Like, it was really ridiculous.
I have a bit of a nit to pick with number 9 because I hate when anyone brings this up. I mean, it's not,
I don't think it's relevant at all.
No, it's not. Like, the only thing that matters about the 3 people who were shot by Kyle is they were attacking him and they reached for the gun.
Right.
Yeah, actually, like,
all that matters.
Like, we've had Johnny Walker Dread on our channel, like, when they're saying, like, Kyle's a hero, or, like, Kyle was just taking out the trash. Like, those aren't real. They're dumb arguments.
And that's a stupid one too, because again, he was acting in self-defense. Like, you shouldn't be putting Kyle up on a pedestal, and you shouldn't be trying to do this while the victims were the aggressors.
Very clear. I do not think Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. I think he was a victim.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and these 3 people, when they tried to say they're victims, no, they're not. They were the aggressors. They were the ones who initiated a violent exchange. They were the ones who created conflict that resulted in them losing their lives, and 2 losing their lives and 1 guy losing a bicep. Like, they're not innocent. They're not victims. They did this to themselves.
Ultimately, yeah, their character isn't what's on trial here. It's a self-defense case, but it does make it, it is easier to win people over emotionally when they find out that Rosenbaum had 11 counts of sexual misconduct involving minors. He sucked his little brother's dick before the little kid even turned 15 years of age.
You're not wrong.
He was a fucking monster. I personally believe that he could have gone back in a time machine and fucking smoked him sitting on the toilet, and it would have been justified. But that's not what's on trial.
I agree. That's why I don't like number 9, especially when it comes from our side of the aisle, because I don't like to make arguments based on an appeal to emotion. It drives me nuts. I can't stand that. So
it's one of those things, like, where internally we can, like, joke about it a little bit because we have other basis to say, like, it's insane that Kyle's even on trial right now. But we can make fun of the fact that he killed a whole bunch of people that were like, he killed 3 people that just so happened. Well, he killed 2 people that just so happened to have these ridiculous criminal records, and the 3rd person he shot also had a criminal record and just turned out to be a revolutionary communist. So
that just goes back to your point of they're not bringing their best.
Yeah, they're not bringing their best. Number 10, though, it's like, but I thought you were anti-prison. Now, I thought this was weird. and this is weird for even us reading it. Like we get the prison abolitionist thing, but she basically came up and said, well, you know, in a perfect world, everybody agrees with me and we don't have to have a prison system. But in this case, Kyle's a terrible person and he needs to go directly to jail. Which doesn't, like, that just tells you what the prison abolitionists actually think, right? Like, they don't they disregard the idea that, yeah, there's people out there that can do bad shit.
I mean, this one's kind of funny because they acknowledge that the world is not the perfect utopia that they strive for. So technically, in a perfect world, people like Rosenbaum would never have existed in the first place. So by the good grace of Kyle, you're actually closer to that perfect utopia. So you should be thanking him.
Well, and I'm going to go to number 11. The court system is impartial, and if he's acquitted, we must respect the results. Who's making that argument?
I haven't heard anybody make that argument except for people who are saying, well, if he is, like, I've heard this from the left because they're preparing themselves for Kyle to be found not guilty or get acquitted, or even if he is found guilty for it to be appealed. Like, they're preparing themselves because they know they can say whatever they want, but they know that very likely, more likely than not, beyond reasonable doubt, this is a pretty clear-cut case of self-defense. They're fully aware of that. It just pisses them off because it's not their side that's winning the argument. So there you go.
Well, amen to that. I know you needed to wrap up, so I'm going to go ahead and let you wrap up.
Let's, Kira Dam, did you want to say anything before we left? Because this is like this is your town.
Well, I think that list is really stupid. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, it's like they're denying the truth, you know?
Mm.
You're not wrong.
Right.
I've seen some pretty bad lists, and I've seen some pretty heavy cases of copium before. But wow, that one's probably in my top 5.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I've been literally doing this stuff since 2:00 today, and it's like 8:35. It's like I gotta go.
Good show earlier today, by the way.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I just get real high energy, and I was like, there was no way I could burn it off for taking a nap. So, Excel said, "Let's do this, man." I said, "All right, let's do it." So, but I appreciate everybody coming out. Is there anything anybody wants to say before we go? Here's your chance.
Do you see Kyle?
I hope he's innocent.
I did too. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I just hope tomorrow isn't a complete shit show. Like, we already have enough economic issues in this country. We don't need any more buildings and towns and small businesses burning. We've had enough of that already.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, say goodbye, everybody, and we're out.
Peace,
Goodbye.
everyone.
See you guys.
Uh-huh.